So I've mentioned a couple of times now that it's not a great idea to use the default application ID and client key. And that's mostly a security issue. If you leave those as the default and someone figures out your server URL, then they can access the whole of your app. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to change them, but a big warning, it's quite a technical and tricky process. So I would only do this if you're just about to launch an app that's been made this way on the App Store. So I'm including it here for completeness, but as I say, it's a fiddly process. So if you're just learning about app development and you don't have a particular app that you want to publish right now, then skip this video and go on to the next one, unless you're just interested in the process. Okay, with that said, let's jump over to Firefox. You may have noticed that I'm working in Firefox this time, and that's because with Firefox, Amazon provides a SSH login for their EC2 instances. Now, SSH allows you to securely access an instance in a way that gives you complete control over it. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. I'll just make sure I access the right one. So this is the one that ends 229. I'm just going to have a look. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so when you've got the instance selected, click Connect. Now, if you're familiar at all with SSH, then you can use any SSH client and just copy that line into your SSH client or your command line client, and that will connect to your server in one go. If you're not familiar though, I'm going to show you how to do it using the Java SSH client. So this requires Java. If you don't have Java installed, it will prompt you to install it during the process. And importantly, it doesn't work on Chrome. So that's why I've switched over to Firefox for this particular video. So all we need to do here is enter our private key path, which is the location where you saved the private key. So we've got an example there. If you're on Windows, it'll be something like c://keypairs/Tinder keypair, something like that, .pem. So work out what the path is for wherever you saved it and then pop that in there. And then you can see there, this is in users, Rob Percival, and then desktop, and then Tinder keypair.pem. So I'm going to enter /users/Rob Percival /desktop/Tinder keypair.pem. And you can optionally store it in the browser cache, which save you having to do it next time. Now that's opened up pretty quickly for me because I already had it open, but if you don't have it open, then it can take up to sort of 20-30 seconds to start running, and you might have several boxes that pop up and say, do you want to open this software? And to all of those, just say yes. And then if you've entered the private key path correctly, you'll see this. So this is an SSH login to our EC2 instance. And essentially from here, we can do whatever we like. We can install software, we can edit files. We've got complete control over our server. So all we're going to do is find the file that stores the settings for the Parse app and then edit it. So we're going to find it in CD. CD is for change directory. And we're going to CD to the directory apps/parse/htdocs. There we go. And then in this directory, we're going to type VI, which is short for Vim, which is a text editor. And then we're going to edit server.js. So this is the file that contains all of the essential server options for our app. So you'll notice you can't click with the mouse. You need to use the keyboard. So I'm going to navigate to my app ID using the arrow keys. And then I press A, and you can see that insert appears at the bottom left. So now I can edit this file. So there we go. So I can choose whatever I like. My Tinder app. And something like master key 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is where you'd put something complex and unguessable so that your app is secure. I'm just going to change them here before I forget them. There we go. And then once you've finished editing, press escape to change away from the edit mode. And then you type colon to start putting in some commands, and then WQ. And that will quit the Vim editor that we're currently in and save your file. There we go. And then finally, we just need to restart everything to use those new settings. And we can do that using sudo, which is short for super user do. So it allows us to perform tasks as the super user. And then we want to forever restart all. So now we should be able to go over to our app. And I've actually changed the code a little bit there so that we're saving a test object 3. You can see I've been doing a bit of testing. And now that we've changed the details both in the app delegate here and on our server, everything should connect fine, and indeed it does. So the object has been saved, and then let's just confirm on the dashboard that that is indeed the case. We should now have one test object 3 as well. So now, even though our app is now working fine, we need to update the settings in Parse Dashboard as well. Otherwise, that won't be able to access the Parse server. So to fix that, we need to go back over to our SSH login to our server. And what we're going to do this time is create a config file for Parse Dashboard, which contains our new app ID and master key. And we do that by first off changing to the same directory that we were in before. So apps/parse/htdocs. And then within that folder, we're going to change to another folder called node_modules. And then another one called parse-dashboard. And finally, one more, which is exactly the same, but with capital letters for parse and dashboard. And this is where we're going to create the config file. So once again, we use VI to launch our text editor. And the file that we want to create, and you have to get this exactly right, is parse-dashboard-config.json. There we go. And now for the contents of this file, we're going to do a quick Google for Parse Dashboard. And the top result there should be the GitHub page for Parse Dashboard. And if you scroll down to configuring Parse Dashboard, you can see the contents that we'll need for our Parse Dashboard config file. So copy those back over to your text editor and paste those in. And press A to allow text editing, and then edit, paste. And there we go. Now we can add our new app ID. So that's my So we'll just get there with the arrow keys. So my Tinder app. And the master key that I entered was master key 1234. And of course, we'll now need to specify the server URL as well. So back over to EC2, and that's most of the URL. We just need to have the HTTP at the front and pass at the end. So then edit, paste, check that that's all matching up okay. Looks good. And then press escape to get out of text editing mode. And then as before, :WQ, and that will save your file. So if we now have a quick look and edit it, there we go, we've got our new content. In fact, I'm glad I did that because I think I've deleted a double quote there. There we go. So escape, :WQ. All right, and if you've done all of that correctly, we should be able to go back over to our Parse dashboard page and refresh, and then it should connect fine once again. There we go. We're going to jump straight back into Tinder, and specifically we're going to see how to recreate the specific feature of dragging that central image from left to right to be able to select or deselect. We'll do that in the next video.